Hello, good morning or good afternoon, good evening. If you're watching this at a later time, welcome to this week's assembly. We're continuing on the theme of responsibility, and today the responsibility to do the right thing. We're at a Christian festival called Candlemas, which is the presentation of Jesus in the temple by Mary and Joseph, his parents, and a little bit more about that in a moment. They came to the temple to do the right thing. First of all, a little test. We're going to play a dilemmas game. We're going to have a look at 3 or 4 things where we have the responsibility to do the right thing, but sometimes there can be things which make that decision quite difficult. So the reason I've got this on a selfie stick, my phone, is that I'm going to go to one side of the room if I think I should make a decision a certain way. You'll see what I mean in a moment. And I'm going to go to the other side of the room, boom, 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 if I think I should make a decision another way. Anyway, you all will become clear. So I'm going to read out a dilemma to you. This is a real situation which you could be involved in, and I wonder what decision you would make. So here's the problem. A girl goes to a theme park with her dad. It's her 10th birthday, and he's promised her that she can go on a few rides. Why else? That's why you go to a theme park. But he's forgotten his wallet, and they've driven miles and miles, and his dad's forgotten his wallet. Oh, Dad, it's too far to go home before the park shuts. So he's only got enough money to pay to get in and perhaps get a bit of candy floss, and they can have a little walk round, perhaps have a go on a couple of free rides, but not the really, really good ones. Does she, if you were that girl, lie about her age so that she can get in for half price and therefore get on the rides? Or does she not? Does she tell the truth and say, I am obviously the age that I am, I'm 10 years old, and unfortunately she'll have to come back maybe another time? So do you not say the truth and you say you're younger than you actually are and get in for some rides, but actually you've not told the truth? Or over this side of the room, do you actually say, well, I am 10 years old, it's my birthday, I'll have to come back another time? What decision do you make? Responsibility to do the right thing. Okay, second one. You are spending the afternoon with a friend of yours who isn't very popular. I can't imagine that. But anyway, in this instance, they are. You run into a group of your friends who invite you to go to see a film, but they say that your friend can't come. What is the right thing to do? I guess there are a couple of options there. And the main couple of options are, obviously, you abandon your mate and you go off with the other group of friends, or you say on the other side of the room, no, this is my friend, I'll go and watch that film another time. But you might lose a bit of face in front of your group of friends. Tricky one. What would you do? There may be a third option. Perhaps you could think up a third option. Okay, we'll carry on with the dilemmas. These are tricky, aren't they? These are the kinds of things which can happen in our lives, and we have to make the right decision. So your mum has told you to clean up your toys. It's going to happen. It already has. But you're having fun, and you want to carry on having fun. You don't want to stop playing. Besides, the room is messy, and you don't feel like cleaning it up. So what will you do? Okay, Mum, I'll clean up my room. Are you going to clean up your room? And that's over this side of the room. You going to clean up your room? Could do. Or are you going to say, do you know what? I'm going to carry on playing and I'm not going to take any notice of Mum. Gosh, very brave. Anyway, so what are you going to do? Which of those two? And there's one last one, another dilemma. So your grandma, she's a brilliant cook. She makes brilliant cookies. She's made some cookies for your brother's class. She tells the family not to eat any. You must not eat any of these cookies. You know what's coming next. You really want a cookie, so you decide to take one. Don't. Num, num, num. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Yum, yum, yum. Your brother notices a cookie is gone. And there won't be enough to go around the class now. What will you do?
Can you have a cookie?
That's the question, lady.
The answer is no, Cookie Monster.
Me going to ask you another question.
Okay.
Why?
Let's go to this side of the room. Do you fess up Do you confess? Yes, it was me. I had the cookie. I'm so sorry.
Now I'm going to take these cookies and I'm going to hide them where nobody can find them.
Where are you going to hide them?
In me tummy!
Or do you say, I don't know, the dog ate one? Or there weren't that many to start with? Or some other story? Just make up a story to cover your tracks. Which do you do? So lots of moral responsibilities. Responsibility to do the right thing is right in there. I think maybe sometimes the decision isn't so clear cut. Maybe we need some help to make the right decision. But you know what? The thing about being a Christian, the thing about having a Christian faith, the thing about being able to pray is that you can ask God to help you make the right decision. And of course, we have the Bible. Where's my Bible? There's my Bible down here. We also have the Bible, which has all sorts of help in it and all sorts of people who were also faced with all sorts of dilemmas and places where they had to make the right decision. We can learn from the stories in the Bible, as hopefully we do each week in our assemblies. Brilliant. So dilemmas game there, just a few things to think about. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that activity. Dilemmas, you know, the difficult decisions we have to make in life. Not really a game, was it, in a way? It's more of an activity, more of a test to try and just test ourselves to think, well, how would I react in circumstances similar to those? And as we are learning in this assembly, we have the responsibility to do the right thing. Right, so moving on to our story, our Candlemas story today, we are looking at Mary and Joseph and the fact that they did the right thing. Now, in the Christian calendar, we have this date called Candlemas. It comes 40 days after Jesus was born. And this was kind of a period, a ritual period, at the end of which it was called a purification ceremony. So Mary and Joseph would bring the baby, in this case baby Jesus, and they would come to the temple and they would come and find the priest, the person in charge in the temple. So it's also called the presentation of Jesus in the temple. This is the other name for this particular festival. And it usually falls on the 2nd of February. And it's a feast, a festival which has been running for hundreds and hundreds of years in the Christian church. The story is that Mary and Joseph come into the temple. Jesus has been born into the world. He's 40 days old. And they're now coming looking for the priest, for Simeon. And so they come into the temple. And you can imagine them sort of stepping in and quietly and they're looking around for the priest, and then the priest is there, Simeon. Now Simeon, never mind the choir, he is so excited. He's been waiting for this baby for all his life, and he has been expecting Jesus. He's expecting the Messiah, the promised one, the anointed one, to come and be the ruler of their nation. And okay, at the moment he's just a baby, but he'll grow up to be a man, and they're hoping that this is the one, this is the Messiah. Simeon thinks he is, and he gets so excited, and he takes Mary passes the baby Jesus to Simeon, and he says, "Thank you, God." He says all sorts of amazing things, and Mary and Joseph must be thinking, wow, this is some baby. I mean, they were already thinking he must be some baby from the wise men who visited and the shepherds who visited and the things that people have said, the angel who had visited around what we now recognize as Christmas time. They already knew this was going to be an amazing baby. But now here's this prophet, Simeon, and a lady prophet as well called Anna, and she said some amazing things as well. You can find this all in Luke chapter 2 and verses 22 to 39 in the New Testament of the Bible. And Mary and Joseph left the temple. They knew they'd done the right thing. They'd brought Jesus to God to give thanks to God, and Simeon had been a part of that. Amazing story. You know what? You'll know from the assemblies that we've had in school when I've been in with Meg that we've talked about Jesus being the light of the world. And this festival that we're in now, oh, there I go, I am still here. And because it's Candlemas, it's important that we have a lit candle. Now, as I said, he actually referred to himself as the light of the world, and he brought his light, his presence, into some really dark places, into people who are really sick, and he brought healing, and people who were struggling and who were mourning, who'd lost people. He brought joy, and he brought hope where there had been despair. And you know, not only did Jesus come into the world as the light of the world, and he referred to himself as the light of the world, but he also calls us to be the light of the world. And really, that's where our responsibility comes in this story. And perhaps that's a really good place to bring our assembly to a close, remembering that not only did Jesus say that I am the light of the world, referring to himself, but that also he said, you are the light of the world. And we have this responsibility to carry the light of Jesus into the difficult situations in the world, to be a really good friend to someone, to make good decisions. We looked at those dilemmas early on, and to love each other as best we can, as God helps us to. So I hope this has been helpful today. Go in peace to love and serve the Lord. And, take that responsibility seriously, to just be the light of the world and to carry Jesus' love into the world around us. God bless you. Speak soon. Bye-bye.